Welcome to the Virtual Entrepreneurship Center. This is a collaborative project that has been funded by the United States Department of Agriculture between Alabama A&M University in Huntsville, Alabama, Auburn University in Auburn, Alabama, and Tuskegee University in Tuskegee, Alabama. My name is Dr. Keenan Grinnell, and I'm CEO of Global Capital Group, LLC, out of Wauwatosa, Wisconsin. Right now, we have the distinguished Toby Warren, who's the founder of the National Leadership Congress, and he's also a consultant. So the topical area we sort of want to have a dialogue with Toby about is scaling up veteran entrepreneurship. And so before we sort of launch into that particular discussion, Toby, could you take a few moments to kind of tell us, who's Toby Warren, and who's the man, who's the leader, and who's the vision, and then we'll get into some more specific questions after that. So very touched and inspired by your keynote during a luncheon today, and I feel your leadership. I feel what you're trying to achieve, and I just think you are providing tremendous service, as a citizen of this United States, but as a global citizen as well. So, who's the man, who's the vision, and who's the leader?
Well, first of all, thank you. The man is on a journey of trying to learn how to better serve others. It's taking a long time to get that right. Being selfish and having that nature. Finding people, children, families, veterans who are hurting, who need love, who need help, need services. I'm drawn to that.
Mm-hmm.
My dad was blind. My sister is dying from ALS. Much of my heart and what I am is about focusing on the ability, part of the word disability. And I needed to find a way through a leadership compass to serve and to help. And so I established the National Leadership Congress to address in a neutral way the needs of humanity. And it's working. So all I am is I'm on the train and no one's telling me no. It's kind of cool. So I guess what I am in a way is I feel like I'm giving back to society. In honor of my father, in honor of those who are not abled. I don't know. And God's just kind of saying, here, I'll give you this building. I'll give you this person. So I've got all this stuff coming in, and I'm trying to direct it smartly and connect it to our vision, a shared vision, which is totally focused on creating the future in a global way through servant leadership with an impact on advocacy, purpose, and impact, making a sustainable difference. So it's, I'm kind of way over my head here, but I figured that if God wants me to do this, and I do feel called to do it, that's his job to make it happen. So
You have such a profound and eloquent, but very almost spiritual way of the journey that you're on. And I knew right away that I better get my act together and make sure that I put what I wanted to do with you in very manageable pieces, because if not, you're going to have me on a quest. And you already pretty much have me, convinced of a quest scenario. Help the person that's going to see this module video, and we don't know at what point in time on a 24-hour, cycle that they would click onto the topical area and whatever topical category that scaling up, veteran entrepreneurship would fall under. But tell us a little something about the vet transfer movement, because that segues into some of the other questions that I have for you.
Well, first of all, let me tell you, if I might, about the veteran.
Mm-hmm.
We've got 22 million living in America today. And what's going on inside the veteran is not pretty. And he and his family are living a great deal without hope. And they've lost self-worth. And they sense inside of themselves that once upon a time they were a leader, but they've lost it. And I think part of what we're about with helping veterans is to recover that sense of leadership within them. I don't think anything that we're doing in the multiple areas in serving a veteran and his or her family has anything to do with entrepreneurship. It has everything to do with hope. Part of what I feel, if somebody said, what does the National Leadership Congress do? I would probably tell them that we are a gateway to hope. It's what we do. Entrepreneurship is a way of engaging where they begin to sense, hey, maybe I can take my dream, my passion. But that's just the tweak, that's just the tip of the iceberg, because the discipline required to be an entrepreneur, to see it through, to have a balanced relationship with his home life, with his wife and his children. The divorce rate of entrepreneurs is unbelievable because they're 24/7. They lose their families. And much of what is critical in the entrepreneurial side of working with veterans is what I would call a 9-month entrepreneurial boot camp, focused on character, focused on faith, focused on finance. It's not the dream. Everybody's got a dream and a passion. So I've held 2 major entrepreneurial veteran boot camps in the last 6 months. Had 91 veterans at one in Opelika, Alabama, and had 117 in Mobile, Alabama, both focused on, and I partnered with the SBA, I partnered with the Veterans Business Outreach Center, and I brought people from California, from Milwaukee, to be a part of programming, and I'm watching. And what was interesting is what I was seeing in the eyes of a veteran. And it was kind of like, wow, maybe. So those one-day events scratched the surface, but we all need someone to walk with us. So we can talk about teacher, trainer, coach, but it's not my style anyway to be any of those because I'm really not qualified. But I can walk with somebody. I can hold their hand. I can hug them. I can encourage them. I will tell you this. I've heard in more circles than not that the most important leadership lesson that we could ever share and convey to another human being is encouraging them. Because they never forget it. They forget everything else. It fades. But if you've ever been encouraged by someone and you knew it, you will never forget them or the moment that you were encouraged. And I've heard that from 4-star generals. I've heard it from Fortune 500 CEOs. But a lot of people don't have that a part of who they are. So when I think about what your question is, entrepreneurship, veterans, part of what I think we're about is encouraging another human being, regardless of who they are, and how we might help them and serve them.
Okay.
So that's my answer.
So, what are the key issues then that perhaps come out of those two boot camps that would you say might now drive veteran entrepreneurship, even though entrepreneurship probably, based on what you just said, falls up under a larger umbrella of hope now and that sort of thing? What are some of the key issues that perhaps came out of those 2 boot camps that as you move forward with veterans as, who are ready for entrepreneurial, engagement?
Key issues. Number
issues.
1, what is your dream?
Mm-hmm.
Put it in writing. And sit with a mentor. Sit with someone who is a veteran, where they are prepared to stand in the wings with you and bounce your idea and your dream, your vision off of them because they own a veteran-owned business. Bring them into your camp and have someone willing to dedicate a year of their life to be a partner, a friend, whatever. Just go through the process. You can't go it alone. And you're going to have major issues, finance, family issues. And you need somebody to have your back because you learned that in the military. So you need that and want it. Number 2, appreciate the disciplines necessary to build and grow and sustain your business. And be sure that you are embracing the right model that fits who you are. Can you withstand the time it takes to be ready? They know what it means to be ready because they had to do that when they went off to war or whatever. So we ask the hard questions right up front, and if we kind of get some pretty good green lights, then we know he or she has a chance, and we want to help.
You know, some veteran is probably watching this video module right now. What do vets bring to the business world in terms of skills, talent, and knowledge? And in your response to that, do know that you're going to encourage somebody that wasn't really thinking about entrepreneurship, but if they were thinking about entrepreneurship, they're a little skeptical about moving in a direction. Tell us about the skills, talent, and knowledge. That person, they know that they have, but they need a Toby Warren to tell them.
Well, they don't need me, but what they have inherently learned and may have forgotten, moved away from, is they bring soft skills to the table. And those soft skills are typically what we found. Someone may have the skills needed, technical skills, but the soft skills, they bring some assets to the table that can be trusted. And there's that sense of trust that if they've gone through the process, that you can't buy those soft skills. You can't pay enough. A corporation or any kind of an organization would love to have those soft skills where they don't have to teach and train them. That's number 1. Number 2, if a veteran were watching this, and if he or she were not alone and they were with their spouse or their family, I would recommend that he or she turn to their spouse and say, "How much do you love me? Can we go do this together? Are you in this with me? Yes or no?" Because, honey, if you're not in it with me, I can't make it happen by myself. And veterans tend to be lone wolves. They don't share their story. They would rather tough it up and I'm a tough guy and I can do it by myself. And we say, hey, back up. Because it takes the team, the family, the sacrifice. Because often it's a $10,000 check asked for from an uncle. So what's happened is you're not in this alone. It might be, you need 90 grand? Where's that coming from? From grandma? From all of your savings? If you've got savings? So it's serious. So I think getting beneath the surface and drilling down and getting to where it really matters, that's where they need to be if they're seriously interested in, quote, being an entrepreneur. Now, in response, I'm sorry.
I tell you what, we're going to stop right here, but I promise you, we're going to be back with Module 2 with Mr. Toby Warren. Take care.